Hi everyone, you can call me Dan Green. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of this channel is to help you find your purpose. I know, it's amazing to consider that some random person on the internet would be able to know what your purpose is. But if you have an open mind, you'll experience what I'm talking about. If you don't have an open mind, then you won't, and you'll miss out.
God is perfect, and He loves you more than you could ever imagine, more than any human could ever love you, and He loves you no matter your gender, your race, your sexual preference, even your past, and anything else.
Well, not in Christianity, though. See, there's the unforgivable sin, so obviously God doesn't love you if you do that. Or, I guess it does love you, but it just can't forgive you, so that means, you're not going to heaven. You're going to the other place, I suppose. What this means exactly is for debate and interpretation by every single denomination of Christianity. But maybe you're talking about a different God. But under Hinduism, you have sins under the Makabrikas, and if you do any of those things, you have incest, or you murder, or you drink liquor, really? Or if you steal for somebody, or if you associate with somebody that has done any of those things, then the Pyrrhuskia, that word that starts with a P, that's the way you get forgiven from those things, is like voluntary death. So I guess that means like suicide, or like there's gonna be long years of severe kids, which I guess is you reincarnating over and over again until you've paid off your sin or something. I'm not really sure how that helps the here and now that we know about for sure, but I guess that those gods might love you, and they're just like making you suffer because you did the bad thing in one lifetime. But then, like, if you don't know that, like in the other lifetimes that you live, like, you forget your past lifetime, right? So you don't remember what you did wrong, so you don't really learn anything from it. This system doesn't really make any sense, but then again, I'm probably getting this completely wrong because I don't understand Hinduism. And I include it here only because you said God, and I don't know which God you're talking about. I'm assuming it's the Christian God, but I mean, it might be one of the Hindu gods. And it doesn't seem like they love you either, but maybe they do. What do I know?
So, a while ago, I was Christian, but my faith wasn't as strong as it is today. And I remember so many times I'd go to bed and think about the afterlife, and if you've been there, you know it's probably the most terrible thing you could ever think of if you're thinking about it negatively. Thinking about being nothing forever, it's the worst.
Mortality is difficult to think about. In fact, we don't know what it's like to not be, because we've always existed from our perspective. The closest that we can come to knowing what it's like to not be is fainting, or going under for surgery, or maybe a super deep sleep where you don't have any dreams or something like that. One moment you're in one place, and the next moment you're in a different place. I went under surgery one time. They have you count backwards, in my case from 100. I think I hit like 98, and then bam, I'm in this other room. And I'm just like, what? Huh? What? Oh, okay. I guess we're done? Like, all I knew was I was hungry and I needed to go to the bathroom. And I ate, lost what I ate, but then I ate again and I felt really better afterwards. And I was like, is that normal? They're like, yeah, it's normal. And went to the bathroom, and it's like, okay, we're done. All right. Well, that was interesting. And you're just there one moment, and then you're somewhere else. The time in between just doesn't exist for you. although it's still running for everybody else. From your perspective, it's you don't even have a perspective anymore. So is that what it's like? It's just not like anything because there's nothing there? Well, maybe, but maybe not. Who knows? It seems like that might be it, but reality is weird, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's something completely different than what we think it might be, or what any religion has said that it is. But whatever the case is, just because we might not like it doesn't make it not true. Just because we can't conceive of it or accept it, that doesn't make it not the case. And I don't think we should focus on the end of mortality. I think we should focus on the fact that we're here for now for sure. And we can make a difference right now in some little or major way. Either for the good or for the bad. And if we try our best for the good, hopefully it will become good, but you never know. But you try your best, and that's what matters. Christianity is obsessed with death.
Well, do you believe in the Great Wall of China? And I said, well, yeah, I do. And he said, well, why do you believe in it? And I said, well, I've seen pictures of it on the internet. I've read about it in my school textbooks, so I believe in it. So I personally can't prove that the Great Wall of China exists, but I believe that it exists because of reasoning. And that reasoning is because I've seen pictures of it and I've read about it and seen it in textbooks. Therefore, I believe that it exists.
There's a number of equivocation and half-truths going on here. The way that you reason to get to the belief of the Great Wall of China is absolutely different than the way that you reason and get to the belief of God. The way that you're using reason changes in both cases, and the word belief doesn't really necessarily have to apply to the former, but does have to apply to the latter. It just depends on how you're using these words. But if this is your analogy, and it was your analogy, the Great Wall of China isn't analogous to God. Nobody really disagrees upon what the Great Wall of China is. There isn't like different people saying, no. The Great Wall of China is orange. No, it's green. No, it's purple. But you ask different people about God, you're going to get all sorts of different answers about God, especially from different religions. But even in the same religion of Christianity, ask Christians Protestant, ask Christians Catholic, you'll get different answers about what God is or how God works. Even the idea of salvation and how you obtain it differs from denomination to denomination. And some are close to each other, and some are way far out there, and some are vague, and some are specific. It depends who you ask. There isn't a wide disagreement about the Great Wall of China. There's a wide agreement upon what it is. You can test the Great Wall of China. You can't test God. You can verify empirically the Great Wall of China, as he said, with pictures. There's no picture of God. Yes, there's writings about the Great Wall of China, detailed writings from numerous sources. So there's a way to be sure that it's a thing, but the Great Wall of China hasn't been claimed to do things that a wall couldn't do, like levitate or walk on water. So there really isn't reasons to doubt that the dang thing exists or has done the things that are claimed of it. It's an ordinary claim to make, and it's something that can be verified, whereas the claims about Jesus and his lifetime are not something that you can verify at all, and the claims made about Jesus are outlandish and ridiculous. So it's not analogous at all. Therefore, you're not using the same thing. to get to the same conclusion. You're using a different thing completely. See, the Bible is written by a number of various people over time, or perhaps groups over time, all of which are anonymous. We don't know who wrote the earliest copies that we happen to have. We do know that there are copies of copies. We know that. And we know some things have been lost to time. We also know that there's things that are written that are referenced, but those are just lost completely. There's things that are considered canon and not canon by different groups. And there's reasons that some things are and some things aren't. And depending on who you ask, those reasons are different. They had to undergo translation. They had to undergo editing. And now it's sold for profit by different organizations who might have their own agendas. Who wrote your Bible? Well, you don't know. But you also don't know who edited your Bible. Who's the publisher? You have no idea, do you? You have to look it up. Because why would you know who published the most important book of all time? See, you don't treat the Bible like it's the most important book of all time. And who would care about making any profit at all if it really is the greatest book of all time and really inspired or written by God either way? Care and attention to detail isn't really put into this thing. It might seem like it, but it's not. You listen to Christians, they'll tell you to read the Bible and go to church and get with a good Christian group. Rarely do you hear them say, research the archaeology, look at the history, here's the places and the peoples and the times, here's all the archaeological evidence that we have, here's all the evidence that we have about this, here's the things that confirm it, here's all these historians that wrote about this person. No, you don't get that because it's not based on those things. It's based on tradition, lore, and faith.
So what reasoning can we have for the existence of a God? Well, there are so many reasons. The reasons are because this world is such a miracle and we take so many things for granted each day. There are amazing, amazing things about the human body and about Earth that we never even think of. And there's a lot of these reasons that I knew and a lot that I was able to look up, and there are so many more, but we'll just go over a few. First, think about your bones. What happens when you break a bone? It automatically heals itself. You don't even have to do anything.
Let me take a moment to talk about graphene. Pretty sure that's how to pronounce it. This material is something that we have constructed. It's about a single layer of atoms in a two-dimensional hexagon lattice, where one atom forms each vortex, and it's flexible, it's strong, it's bendable, it's 100 times stronger than the strongest steel. It conducts heat and electricity very efficiently, and it's nearly transparent. We made this. We, us humans, we made that. This is a bone. You know, like bone head, bone doggity dog, or I don't know. Here's a bone, okay? I'm throwing you this bone. Nature did this, and it's pretty impressive as far as such things go, but as far as it being able to break and heal, well, yeah, but it takes a while depending on where it was broken, how it was broken, and other factors in the body of which it was broken in. It can't withstand the sort of forces that the material that we made could. Why is that? Meanwhile, back to the material that we created from our own puny, insignificant minds, this can withstand forces and do things that bone could never hope to do. Why don't we have this to make up our skeletal structure instead of bone? There's no reason for this if you have a creator that can do anything and everything.
The reason our body has pain is so that we know, hey, something's wrong. Because if we didn't have pain, we wouldn't know that something's wrong, and something way worse could end up actually happening.
In the cartoon Rick and Morty, Rick, this genius scientist, attempted to create the perfect world for his daughter Beth so that she would have somewhere safe to play. The world is bouncy. If you fall down, you just bounce. The water is breathable. Everything is perfect. Now, eventually in the episode, the world gets ruined by a person that did something that was completely unexpected of them to do. So Rick didn't think every possible scenario through that would have kept his world perfect. But Rick doesn't know everything. He just knows a lot of things. And then we have our world. A nice looking place, but there's a lot of things that might kill you. Here's some lava. That would kill you. Don't get near that stuff. It will be a really bad day for you if you fell in that. You would die. Here's some ice. If you're there long enough, you'll die because it's too cold, so don't do that. Oh, look, it's a tornado. Yeah, that could kill you. That's a big old wind there. Some major wind that could kill you. Most of the planet is water, which is great if you can swim for far enough to make it to land before something in the water eats you, or before you run out of energy and drown, because those things will kill you. Think you're safe on land? Nope. You gotta worry about earthquakes. Those could kill you. Man, even falling down a hole, that could get you killed. It's not the hole that kills you, it's the sudden stop at the bottom. Or if you couldn't get out, then it would be starvation. Speaking about starvation, if you don't get help and don't get treatment, starvation will kill you. And it's a pretty bad way to go. So that's not good, but maybe you can avoid all of that. Oh, right, there's microscopic things called viruses and bacteria that want to kill you. Oh, it's such a wonderful world we have. Now, I'm sure you could just say, well, but all of that bad, terrible stuff, I mean, that's just because people sinned against God or something. Or God has a reason to have all these bad and terrible things. No, I don't think so. But, I mean, I guess. I don't know what possible motive or reason anything could have that is supposed to be all good to have a world where such things are not only probable to happen, but do happen quite often to many, many animals, including the human animal, as well as insects and other life as well. Why? Well, it's a dangerous universe, but it didn't have to be that way. It could have been any other way. Could have been a world where none of these things could hurt you at all, ever. It could also be a universe where you don't need to eat because infinite energy exists. But that sort of universe would be one that would need to be created. This universe looks more and more like it's a natural product rather than the product of something with unlimited ability, unlimited information, and who cares about us. One of those things couldn't be true to see the sort of world that we see.
And all of your super important organs inside of you are protected by your rib cage. What awesome design.
Now, maybe your body is different than mine, but I have really, really important organ that's not inside of my rib cage. And I don't want this organ getting hurt. And yet it's in a very vulnerable area where it does tend to get whacked and kicked and hit, and it's not comfortable when that happens. And I consider that a vital organ. Maybe somebody else doesn't, and I can understand. I mean, it's just something that, you don't want to get hurt. And when it does, it might seem funny to somebody else, but it's not funny. And I'd rather have something to protect that particular organ. But yeah, great design. Sure. Now, normally I would return to the video, but it's nothing but him going on and on about how amazing things are and saying, well, look at how amazing that is. Oh my word, how do I possibly explain how amazing things are unless I appeal to this thing? I mean, how else could I explain it? Which is nothing more than an appeal to ignorance and personal incredulity. You don't know how this came about or why, therefore, God. Nothing better than the God of the gaps. That's it. That's like the majority of the rest of this video. Nothing but that. Wonderful. Skip.
Scientists say that if the Earth moved any closer to the sun, we would all burn and die. And if we were any farther than the sun, we would all freeze and die. And there are way, way more points than this. These are just the ones that I knew off the top of my head, and I was able to find on the internet really, really quick.
But why would that make any difference at all? That is to say, if this universe is created from scratch, including all the physics and everything else, why make it that a planet has to be a certain distance from a star in order for life to be possible? Life is rather improbable in the grand scheme of things, and some people use this to argue for God, saying fine-tuning, that if the universe was slightly different in any of the physics or whatever, then life would be impossible. Well, no, just our type of life would be impossible. We don't know that all type of life would be impossible. We don't know what that sort of universe would look like because, as far as I know, nobody's done a universe simulation to find out. In fact, I don't even think that anyone's done a simulation of our universe to see how likely it was that life would come about eventually. Life was able to come about. The laws and physics and rules of the universe permitted this to happen. It doesn't look like it was a plan. It looks like a mistake. But all that can point to God if you really want it to. It just means adding something that's not yet warranted to the question of why anything or everything is here. We might not know the answer, and that's where that should be, is I don't know. But we don't stop there. We continue to investigate to figure it out. But for the apologist, they already have the answer. They don't need to investigate further. Evolution, who cares? God did it. Cosmology, doesn't matter. God did it. Age of the earth, age of the universe, read your Bible. That's what explains everything. Even though it doesn't, and we're still going to need science to make better technologies and improve the quality of life for ourselves, for other creatures on this planet, and who knows, one day we might go to the stars and find other life out there.
So if you need more, you can go on the internet and find loads more. And with all these incredible facts and miracles and perfection, it really makes you think, wow, how could all of this be true if there wasn't a God?
And there you go. That summarizes everything that you need to know about this guy's argument. He can't explain it. He doesn't know. How else can you explain it? Appeal to personal incredulity, appeal to ignorance, and a God of the gaps. That's it. As far as going on the internet, well, you're already on the internet if you're watching this, more than likely. So, rather than look at all the different wow out there, which you should do, but don't look at it from the theist viewpoint. Look at it from the natural viewpoint. The way that reality really is spectacular. Is there a God? Maybe we'll find it one day, but today isn't that day, and tomorrow's not looking so good either.
Now, if you do believe in a God, but you're unsure which one to pick,
then pick The Lobsteress, the only true book that reveals the true truth of the secrets of the universe for real. Read The Lobsteress now, available for free on the internet. Just click the link in my description of the thing and read this book on my word.
look into the creator and see what they did with their life, what things they said, what things they believe, and decide if you think those are the right things. So
your epistemology is just pick whatever feels good to you. Wow. That's not very good. How about we look for empirical evidence to verify that any of these events took place to the degree that we could verify such things? Archaeological evidence, scientific evidence of some sort, empirical evidence. How about some repeatable tests that we can perform to see if any of these claims are true? If neither of those are a thing that we can find, then at least could the person that has an idea about God give us a valid and sound argumentation so that we would then know this is worth my time and energy to look into the matter further? If not, then we have to be skeptical of the conclusions. So there, that ends that video. Alright, next video. Wait, what? Was this? It's still recording? Wait, no, stop the thing! It's not, no!